All right, so welcome to our second segment of this interview with Hazel Moyo. So we covered a lot of topics and we're about to conclude. So this is just me giving you, a platform to express, something that you've had on your mind, a topic or a subject or anything, that you always wanted to discuss, something that you think is worth mentioning.
Well, it's controversial and I'm not sure if it's suitable for your platform. But I'll say as it is. Legalization of abortion in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Should be legalized.
Continue. Why?
Why should be legal? Because by...
Wait, abortion is illegal in Zimbabwe?
It's illegal, but it's only allowed under 3 circumstances. The first one is if a woman has been raped. The second one is if the child is severely deformed. The third one is if the pregnancy, if a continuation of that pregnancy causes significant harm to the mother's life.
Okay.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's not.
Otherwise it's not allowed. It's illegal.
So why do you think? Okay, firstly, why do you think they refuse to make it legal?
It's all because of morals. It's an issue of morality, and it's also an issue, of patriarchy as well.
Patriarchy. How?
It's simple. Men always think that they have a right to control women's bodies.
Okay.
When you look at the policies as well, that are made regarding women's reproductive rights. All of it is patriarchal, it's influenced, it's male-centered.
Okay, so for such laws to be passed, they have to go through parliament, right?
Yeah, of course.
And parliament is full of men, aren't they?
Constituted of women as well. No, I do agree. This with women, I guess I have to say that also there's an issue of morality. Because they're it's murder. Murder is wrong.
So you think it's not murder?
No, because the definition of murder is to kill a person. A bunch of cells in your body is not a person. That's a zygote. There's a difference.
Okay, but once the spermatozoa and the ovary
We're getting nerdy now.
Right. Once the sperm and the eggs fuse, right?
Yes.
Then that becomes a person, right? Like scientifically speaking.
No, because they're not fully formed. So scientifically, they're not a person.
Really?
Yeah, being fully formed is what defines you as a person. Something that's still in vitro is.
But that thing has the potential of becoming developed.
Because it has the potential, it doesn't mean that it is. It's a stage thing. Here's the thing, the thing with abortion rights, we're not arguing the science behind it. We're arguing the idea behind it. You would see for example, I think I've said this before on a different interview when I say that it's wrong that, one of the conditions they allow rape, they allow abortions if you're raped, because it perpetuates the idea that for a woman to have a right to her body, a man has to violate it first.
Okay.
It's wrong. Banning abortions, you're not really banning abortions, you're banning safe abortions because women are still doing it. So we're advocating, I am advocating for, women to live safe, women to have reproductive rights. That's the whole point, because women are dying from backdoor abortions when if the government could just legalize it. Because you're not going to stop abortions ever.
Okay, so I'm just going to say it how I see it.
Of course.
I think that if you reach a point where you need to get an abortion, it just shows that you're irresponsible. Why? Because
you're human.
No, because we have contraceptives.
Of course.
Right? If you know that you don't want to have a child, why not use? I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just want to understand.
Well, as you may know, this is what I believe, right? With pregnancies, right? Unplanned pregnancies, it's 50-50. Some it may be because of recklessness, and some may be because, contraceptives are not 100% foolproof. Sometimes you just might be unlucky, and there's so many women who become that unlucky one. So when a situation like that happens and you're thinking, for example, maybe you're in first year of university, things are bad at home. You know that, you're maybe, for example, like maybe you're a single mother, you know that she's literally pulling out all stops just to put together school fees. And then, you make a mistake and then, you become the unlucky one and you get pregnant. And now you're thinking, oh, I cannot bring my mother another burden. Because at the same time, why would you want to bring? Because why would you? Because don't bring into the world a child that you can't take care of. Because at the end of the day, who suffers? That child suffers. Because if the mom is a single mom, she's doing piece jobs to make it happen, and like how things are bad in the country, you can't get a job. How are you going to buy the pampers? And then when that's the thing though, like look at how many kids get dumped in dustbins or in hospitals. The number is alarming because they know that I can't take care of this child.
Okay. One, I want to say 2 points.
Yeah.
One, I don't think that children are burden. Of course, it's expensive. Then, of course, it's expensive to raise them, right? But people can still make a plan. There are ways in which that child can be supported. You might have to get yourself in uncomfortable situations, but that's the price that you have to pay.
Yeah, of course.
1, 2, dumping of children. If a child is dumped, that doesn't really mean that their life is over.
Yeah, of course.
They can still, they have a chance. They have a chance. You never know what happens. You might see them in the streets and stuff like that, but you never know how life can change. I just think that life is the most important thing. As long as you're alive.
It is.
So I just don't get why abort.
I get why. The thing is, right? It's because you're a man. You never fully understand. As much as people say that, there's this saying in Shona, something like that.
Yeah.
A woman, I have. A woman carries the most burden, especially when it comes to child rearing and basically taking care of the child. It's mostly the woman. As much as people like to say yes, a man does that, but imagine a situation where the father is is persona non grata.
Okay.
He's refusing to pray because boys do it now, especially if it's those where you're both in uni, things are bad for both sides, and the boy's like, what, at the end of the day she's carrying the child, not me, so let me just deny the pregnancy. And that's why women end up aborting, because she'll be like, I'm literally bringing this child into misery, because why am I, if I do bring this child, my education is going to stop because now we need to pay for pampers, and this pregnancy, yes, it was a mistake, but especially those where you have tried to prevent it, but it doesn't work. You know how the female body works.
But isn't it okay? Let's say that you're in a situation where you get pregnant and you're still at school, and you know that if that baby comes, you have to drop out of school. So you think that it's alright. You think that it's better to abort the child and graduate, and then have a child after you graduate. Is that the reason?
No, I mean, it's a personal choice. Other people actually, give birth, then come back to school. It just depends. I've seen classmates who, got pregnant, gave birth, then, came back to finish off. Then there are some who aborted, finished in time. Everyone runs a different race. So at the end of the day, it's your personal decision. And the ones who give birth and come back, most of them at home, things were financially okay. Because most of the girls that are born are girls that come from really, really poor families, and they're just scared because they're thinking, for example, maybe they're thinking, oh, my dad is already paying my, he's struggling to pay my school fees, and there's also your siblings at home who need to eat as well. So now you're thinking, adding an extra amount when they send me to university to study, I shouldn't be punished for one mistake.
For one mistake. It's complicated, and I think that it's something that should be openly discussed. I don't think that people should close the door,
To ban it completely. I think it should be open because.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they should legalize it. I don't know. I think that women should decide. Decide by yourselves.
That's what I mean by legalizing abortion. A woman should have should be given a reproductive rights. She should be able to decide whether or not I'm keeping this child, because at the end of the day, that child is going to be my, I don't want to say burden, it's the wrong word, but it's going to be my responsibility through and through.
Okay.
So I should be allowed to choose then, rather bring, a child that I know I can't take care of. Like, I'm a child myself.
Okay, it's complicated because we're talking about human life.
Of course.
It's human life.
Cells.
I thought that we weren't going to go scientific,
Yeah.
But okay, it's fine. All right, let's close this, subject. I have something, that I also want to discuss with you. Would you be open to, to get involved in a polygamous relationship?